John, I wanted to ask you about Cooper. There's a certain pressure that comes with being the number one player in your high school class. And we see that year in and year out. It's like being the number one pick in the NBA draft. He's lived up to the hype. Seems like a two-horse race for National Player of the Year. What to you is the most impressive thing that he does?
The most impressive thing to me, Robbie, is the fact that uh, he's the same way every day. Like his approach, he's competitive, he has energy, he's as loud as anybody in the gym, and it just it picks everything up. Like so, as a coach, your job, like look, usually you have lots of times as a coach, you're talking about the energy of a practice, or we need to pick it up and that hasn't happened this year. Now Cooper's not the only reason, but being the best player, he's a huge reason of why that's the case. And then the second thing, it goes along with it, but he's not everybody has the skill of being able to make everybody around them better. And that happens from his play, the fact he's so unselfish and a great passer, and he's not about stats. But it also comes from uh, understanding the guys where he knows he's got to put their arm around them, where maybe their confidence is down, or if it's getting on them and confronting them. He just has a unique feel, for how to pick others up and, rise to the occasion. So he's done an incredible job with both of those things.
I love his temperament, man. Like every time you watch him, and he's kind of even keel, but you can tell, like you said, how competitive he is. To me, I said it recently. He's one of the top 10 players I think I've ever covered in college basketball. And the numbers might not completely support it, right? Like sometimes, again, he just does everything well. There's no hole in his game, especially now that he's shooting the three well. All right, give me, though, John, the thing that you get on him the most, because I know he likes to be coached. Give me the
Right.
thing that you have to get on him or are getting on him even down the stretch here.
Well, let me just say two things with it. One, and when you mention numbers, I mean, look, because he's had a killer instinct in our team. We've had some games. He hasn't played at the end of games a lot, so that's just the reality. So his numbers aren't going to be off the charts, crazy or whatever. The other thing is when we have gotten those leads, he's trying to get others. That's part of him understanding, getting guys shots. So I think that's part of what makes him so special. But look, obviously he's got a lot of things he has to work on long term and for us to win. I'm on him all the time about working and get open, before he gets the ball, right? Like the better teams you face, and as he goes on his career, uh, he has to become better with coming off screens and setting his men up. Defensively, he's grown so much this year. Just his positioning of where to be at, which is hard as a freshman, let alone a guy that's a year early. And he makes up for it with his length and, amazing instincts. And I think he's come such a long way, So for me, it's all about off the ball, offensively and defensively, his cutting, his screening, his positioning. One thing I've talked to him about, like Jason Tatum has become such a great screener, in the NBA. He gets an advantage or a mismatch from his screening. And Cooper's really embraced that. And just his screening angles, understanding coverages of how they're playing. He's done a great job of growing with that. It just there's levels to it. And he's going to continue to develop that piece.
John, don't you think it's interesting that screening can really be selfish? You probably felt that. Like, it
Yes,
doesn't have to be. While it looks
exactly.
unselfish, it really can be selfish for yourself because you
Robbie,
get open a
like
lot of stuff.
the two things as players you never want to, in your mind you have a thing against is I never want to run in the corner. Like you feel like, the corner is the worst place to possibly
It's
be and then
the
screening.
coffin. Yeah.
But really both those things open up so much for you. And
Mhm.
so we have to get over, both of those parts. But really, screening is like uh, I put so much more value on it for me the last year or two, just especially with our best players, understanding how much it opens the floor up for them.